A Southern California lawmaker has come under fire for directing millions of dollars in government money to nonprofits headed by a campaign contributor. And Fox 11's Gina Silva reports the DA has now been asked to investigate.
Their accusation is pretty serious. They're calling you a corrupt congressman who's...
They can call me what they want to. There's no basis to it at all.
Republican Congressman Gary Miller from Diamond Bar denying all allegations against him by the watchdog group CREW, Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington.
I think Congressman Miller is corrupt, and I think he's shown his true colors on numerous occasions. He's taken his position to financially benefit himself and his family and his big campaign contributors, and I think that's unacceptable.
CREW says the problem is more than $30,000 Miller received in campaign contributions from developer Jeffrey Burham, his company, and family. Documents show Miller helped tack earmarks onto various pieces of legislation, which directed more than $1 million in taxpayer money to a nonprofit organization that Burham founded. Burham did not return our calls for comment, but we caught up with Miller at a political forum. Do you understand why they accuse you of such a thing? Because the perception may be that you are paying them back for all those contributions to your campaign.
They're inaccurate. They're inaccurate.
You worry about the perception, though.
You can make a perception of anything in life. I could make a perception you're being annoying, but that's just a perception.
At best, it stinks. At worst, it's corruption.
Lee McGroarty is a Chino businessman running against Miller for the 42nd Congressional District. He says Miller has no business giving money to areas that aren't in his district.
Why is Congressman Miller using federal taxpayer dollars to enhance Rancho Cucamonga or other cities when they could be doing it on their own?
Mr. Miller has been engaged in the same kind of conduct for so long and hasn't been held to account for it. I really think members of Congress need to be held accountable. He's the kind of member the House Ethics Committee ought to be looking at, ought to be taking a hard look to see if his conduct really does violate House rules.
Congressman Miller denies any wrongdoing and makes it clear he thinks very little of CREW.
I'm not going to respond to CREW. They're a worthless organization who have no point of fact in making arguments, so I'm really not going to do your interview.
But CREW thinks Congress should take a closer look at all of this.
This is the kind of thing that just begs out for a House Ethics Committee investigation.
McGroarty has called on the San Bernardino DA to investigate Miller and Burham. McGroarty has asked the San Bernardino District Attorney's Office to investigate all of the allegations against Miller, and a spokesman for that department says they will look closely at all of the information. Gina Silva, Fox 11 News.
And McGroarty says he was interviewed for more than an hour by investigators and provided them with dozens and dozens of documents.